Meditation, medication. Marijuana makes me feel so fine. It is I and I salvation. Come on and smoke it. You can toke it. Why don't you stop wasting your time? No need to despair. Why don't you come and share the high? Marijuana will never die. Marijuana, marijuana. Marijuana is the healing of a nation. So come on and light it. No need to fight it. Why don't you leave me alone? I just want to grow my own. wasting your time. No need to despair. Why don't you come and share the high? Marijuana will never die. Marijuana, marijuana, I and I salvation. Marijuana, marijuana, it's the healing of a nation. So come on and light it. No need to fight it.
And I guess that's my cue to turn on the microphone. I am back. I am back live. I'm watching my show on my new monitor over here. I've got my new graphics set up. Hello, Susie. Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm a little bit nervous because I've been planning this for years, and I've been working on this new format for months. It's taken me 2 years to get here. It's been a long road. It's really been a long road to get to this point, to where I can pull off the kind of show that I want to pull off. So here we go. The new format is as follows. Mondays we will be discussing movies. We will be discussing the actors and actresses in those movies, directors, producers, studios, writers, everything movies. On Tuesdays, we are going to be talking about, well, the past. We are going to bring you an actual morning news program, and I will read you stories from the past. And we will examine them and compare them to the present. On Wednesdays, we're really going to switch things up, and I am going to take us on an old-time radio show time adventure. We are going to go back in time via a radio station. I'm going to be the DJ, and we are going to play old 1920s and 30s jazz music, and we are going to talk about the radio stations and the DJs from the 70s and 80s who brought us the music that we love to listen to. I'm using 20s and 30s jazz to counterpoint the time frames, because we're about 50 years apart between the 20s and 30s and the 70s and 80s. And then into 2026, we're kind of doing some severe 50-year time jumps here. There is a message coming in from the box office from someone out in the theater. There comes a redeemer, and he slowly fades away. She's talking about this morning's Marijuana Man, my Monday movie, Marijuana Man Memory. One of my favorite movies. If you recognize the DEA agent, it's because the DEA agent is, or was and is, Hector Elizondo. Very, very famous character actor. Last time I saw Hector Elizondo was on TV alongside of Tim the Toolman Taylor. doing his Last Man Standing show. All right, people. Um, let's get back to the format. Wednesdays, we are going to be doing a radio show, as if I'm actually in the radio studio spinning wax and commercials and weather and all of that. It's going to be fun. This week's Old Time Radio Wednesday, we are going to be talking about BMR. That's B. Mitchell Reed. He is a famous disc jockey from the 60s, 70s, and passed away in the early 80s. But he changed radio and the way we listen to radio and the way that the DJs do their job. He changed all of that, and we'll talk about him on Wednesday. On Thursday is kind of a consumer products show, kind of a consumer advocate, kind of like, I don't know, a cross between Ralph Nader and David Horowitz. He had a show called Fight Back in the 80s. And so we're going to kind of do a show where we bring on products, talk about them, use them, play with them, discuss them. We'll also talk about product recalls and consumer alerts from the past about products. This week on Thursday, Throwback Thursday, we're going to be talking about the Simon electronic game. It's just a game. You push on the buttons, but it's a very iconic game, and it's one of my favorite games from the past. So we're gonna play around with that one. We're gonna talk about that one, investigate the whole game itself. And I've actually blocked in time to play the game, so we get to play the game as well. Fridays is kind of a loose day where we kind of wrap up everything we talked about during the week, and we kind of tie it into my own past, and kind of have that little adventure exploring my world along with the past world at the same time. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a ball. I burned up a printer, printing monologues for my show, things that I wanted to discuss, lists of things that we are going to talk about on various programs and during various segments. No, I did not go to hand acting school. My hands are just active this morning. I haven't had coffee yet, so I don't have the coffee in my hand. We will be cutting down on the live usage of marijuana, hence the marijuana man this morning. I just feel that for this type of show, it's something that I can handle better during breaks, basically. There's no real need for me at this point to get on and say, hey, check me out, I'm smoking dope. Everybody knows I smoke. It's not something that I need to hide, but it's not something I need to rub in everybody's face every day. And what I'm hoping to do is kind of get a more diverse audience at this point. I love the people who are here, all of the irregulars, and I love hanging out and getting high and drinking coffee and stuff, and we will be doing that. I'll just be doing more of my stuff behind the scenes, as it were, to kind of keep the show a little more family friendly. I want to go into great detail about my past and all of the experiences and the things from my past, and I want to share that with people, but I don't want to turn a lot of people off because, hey, he's just smoking his stuff. So anyway, I love marijuana. I love to get high, and I'll probably do it until I die. But as I've always said on this show, you can find something better to do with your time, people. I'm old and broken. I do it mainly for pain. And the last thing you ever want to do is to start smoking cigarettes, any kind of tobacco, any kind of marijuana, cloves, even the e-dick. Don't be sucking on those e-dicks, man. Put those things down. This is going to be kind of the last of the I'm here to tell you portions of the show until we get to Friday. We're going to kind of save all of this kind of stuff for Friday. Friday will be a fun day to kind of wrap up the week and talk about stuff. And then I can pull the shows together and kind of pull them into the future and talk about how it applies to the now. So we are going to get things started here this morning. My topic of the day is somebody that I grew up with. I still enjoy watching this younger version of somebody who I grew up with in my world. Yeah. I'm contemplating going to a break. I've only got 4 breaks set up for this morning's show, so we're going to kind of stretch things out. It's a new format, and I don't want to get kind of trapped in having to line up everything perfectly to align with the clock. Look at clocks all around me. Time is not the issue this morning. This morning is just getting to know you, getting to know me again, getting to know the show again, getting to know what the hell I'm doing again, because it is. I got to bring this heater in a little closer. After 2 weeks of not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning on my time, I got lazy. I got really lazy. I tried for the last 4 days to get up early, and the best I could manage was like 7. I think was the earliest I actually got up out of bed. I was up at 4, 5, 6 all of those mornings as usual, but mainly just trying to go back to sleep. It's been such a long road to get to this show that I have before you this morning, and the shows that I have set up for the week. It really did take 2 weeks of most of my time sitting here, putting all of this together, creating my graphics, creating my dialogue, doing my research, finding the images and the videos, and then turning all of that into stuff that we can enjoy here. And it's been so much fun. What I really enjoy is creating the in-between moments. The pictures that hang here next to me in the air, the videos that play, the commercial breaks, the movie trailers bumped together with stuff. And we'll start this morning enjoying some new elements to the show. Monday is pretty much a one-topic, multi-segment show. So we are going to read a little bit and talk a little bit and read a little bit and talk a little bit, and we're going to discuss the actors and actresses and movies and whatnot about cinema from the 1970s and 80s. We're staying there. We're kind of using my childhood as a catalyst, jumping off point into that past. That's when we got feet on the ground in the past. We're in the 70s and 80s. So I'm just kind of killing time here during my first 20 minutes or so. I've got, like I said, I've got 4 breaks set up this morning, and they are going to kind of fall in between the segments of monologue that I've set up for this morning, and I've got a lot of stuff going on here. So Why don't we just go ahead and kind of explain who it is we're talking about this morning first? You know, how every neighborhood had that one kid who seemed older than the rest, the one with long hair, the cigarette, the attitude that made parents nervous, and kids secretly wanted to follow, right? For a whole generation, that kid was Jackie Earle Haley, or more specifically, Kelly Leak from the Bad News Bears. Before he was just a leather-jacketed legend of the Little League, Jackie was just a valley kid, born in Northridge, California in 1961. His dad, Haven Bud Haley, was a radio DJ and actor. So Jackie grew up with a mic in his face and a camera nearby. He was 5 when he started voicing Dennis the Menace in commercials. 5, right? Most kids were still figuring out how to tie their shoes. Jackie was already hitting his marks. By the early 70s, he was a working actor with a face you'd recognize even if you didn't know his name. He had that look, kind of wiry, intense, with eyes that said, "I've seen some things." He played Jamie Boyle, right, on the short-lived sitcom Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, 1972 to 1974, and popped up in shows like Marcus Welby, MD, The Partridge Family, and he was always the kid who didn't quite fit the mold. He was a little different. He was Jackie. Then came The Day of the Locust, 1975 movie. He played Adore Loomis, a creepy, precocious child star in a film about a not beneath the rot, about the rot beneath Hollywood's golden glow. Something that is always on the news scene today. It was a small role but unforgettable. Jackie had a way of making you uncomfortable and sympathetic at the same time. That was his magic trick. And then in 1976, The Bad News Bears. Kelly Leak wasn't just a character, he was a cultural event. The kid who rode a motorcycle onto the baseball field, lit a cigarette, and hit a home run just like he was born with a Louisville Slugger in his hand, right? He didn't talk much, but when he did, it mattered. Jackie played him like a kid who already had been burned by the world and decided to stop caring. Except, of course, he did care. That's what made him dangerous and lovable. He reprised Kelly in The Bad News Bears and Breaking Training, one of my favorite movies. And one of the portions of this show is where I talk about a lot of these movies and how they mean something to me. Okay, here we go. Let's see, Bad News Bears and Breaking Training, 1977 movie. I actually have this movie on 16mm reel. The team hits the road to go to Houston, and again, we'll talk more about this later. The Bad News Bears go to Japan in 1978, 76, 77, 78. Boy, they just bang, 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 knocked him out. They had to do it because he was the guy, and they had to do it before he got too old. And boy, by the time we got to 1978 in Japan, he was no longer looking Little League at all. But he wasn't just that. In 1979, he played Moocher in Breaking Away, one of my most favorite movies, again. One of the great coming-of-age films of the decade. Moocher was the smallest of the Cutters, the working-class bike racing crew in Bloomington, Indiana. The Cutters. Jackie was the only actual teenager in the cast. The rest of them were in their 20s. And you can feel it. He's raw, real, and just trying to figure it all out. The film won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, and Jackie's performance is a big reason why. The 80s were a mixed bag. He started Losing It, 1983, a raunchy teen comedy with a young Tom Cruise, and you can tell how young he is because he doesn't have his new teeth. Tom Cruise there. He played, Jackie played Dave, the still the wisecracking misfit the guy with something to prove. He did TV movies like The Outsider Man or The Outside Man, The Love Tapes, and even lent his voice to animated specials like The Mouse and His Child, 1977. He was in The Zoo Gang, The Ghost of Cypress Swamp, and a pilot for an American version of The Young Ones called Oh No, Not Them. But it was pure Jackie, loud, weird, and ahead of its time, and it didn't make it. He also did guest spots on The Waltons, Shazam, and Love Boat, and in 1984 he starred in The Grim Prairie Tales, a horror western anthology that's mostly forgotten now, but worth digging up if you want to see Jackie in full frontier mode. Behind the scenes, Jackie was growing up fast. He married Sherry Vaughn in 1979 at just 18 years old. By 1985, he was married again to Jennifer Hargrave and starting a family. No big scandals, no busts, no drug, no jail time. Just a quiet, complicated reality of a kid who'd been famous too young and was trying to figure out what came next. He wasn't a cautionary tale. He was something rare, a survivor of the spotlight, still standing, still working today, still trying to figure out his place in the world. And a world that had already decided who he was supposed to be as well. And he changed all that. That's the Jackie of the 1970s and 80s, a kid with a cigarette and a stare, a misfit who made it okay to be weird, a teen actor who never played it safe. He didn't just act, he embodied the kids who didn't get picked first. He didn't smile on cue, who didn't fit the mold. And for a while, he made them heroes. He was one of my heroes back in the day. Yeah, let's go to a break, and I can start thinking about drinking some coffee here. We're going to go to a break. I will be right back after this message from somebody out there in the world, right? Totally. I think we're going to go to my living room or my bedroom for this break. Anywho, I'll be back in a flash, people. Peace.
We have just seen rushes direct from Hollywood of pictures being released in the coming weeks. And we are proud to announce that this theater will soon bring you the greatest array of pictures ever to reach our screen. You'll see the finest stars in exciting performances. You'll thrill to the suspense, comedy, romance, and drama of world-famous stories. Here's a glimpse of a few of them coming to this theater soon.
There is no limit to what some men will do for money, especially a man like Morris Buttermaker.
No, I really appreciate this. It's just a damn shame that none of the fathers had the time for it. God knows if I wasn't so busy down at City Hall.
You got my check, Whitewood?
Even if it meant coaching an unlikely group called the Bad News Bears. It was a team of superstars like Mike Engelberg, Rudy Stein, Reggie Tower, Ahmad Abdul-Rahim, the incomparable Ogilvy, Timmy Lupus, Kelly Leak, the Aguilar brothers. With a team like this, there is only one way you can go.
Cups and supporters. Gotta be worn at all times. Well, either you wear them, give that one. Either you wear them or you don't play.
Walter Matthau is Morris Buttermaker, a man so desperate to make a buck that he did the unforgivable. He put a girl on the team.
Boys, I'd like you to meet your new pitcher, Amanda Wurlitzer.
Juice, fix, niggers, and now a girl? Rabbit that, punk.
Tatum O'Neal is Amanda, but Amanda is no ordinary girl. And with her help, the Bad News Bears went from totally terrible to just plain bad.
don't you do this league a favor? You and the Bears just drop out.
Amanda knew what the Bad News Bears needed. She also knew how to get it.
If I win, you play baseball for the Bears.
And if I win?
Name it.
What if he tries something,
I know an 11-year-old girl who's already on the pill.
Don't ever say that word again.
Oh, well, if it isn't Inga-puke.
How'd you like me to stick this bat where the sun never shines, Turner?
Sit on it.
But a little success is a strange thing. Once you taste it, you want more. And from just plain bad, the Bad News Bears climbed up the ladder to become the team that played baseball like it has never been played before. Academy Award winner Walter Matthau is the coach. Academy Award winner Tatum O'Neal is his secret weapon. Together, they turned the Bad News Bears into a team of superstars you will never forget. The Bad News Bears, the incredible story of how a disaster combined with a catastrophe and somehow became the greatest champs who ever played ball.
Okay, now I have to remember to turn my microphone off because I forgot to turn it off during the break, and now I forgot to turn it off coming back in. You could hear me cough during, that's why I had to shut it off. Okay, I am back. This is the morning show, and this is Monday Movie Memories. We're talking about Jackie Earle Haley this morning, the kid who knew too much. It's you see it in his eyes. It's like the kid, he just knew too much. I put my cameras into new locations this morning. Well, over the weekend, so that I could come to you in my new format here in all its glory. So I have to adjust my cut there. Let's try that cut. How's that? Ooh, that's a better cut. A wipe. Let's do a wipe. Okay. We're going to be using overlays all week long, except for Fridays. Fridays we won't be doing overlays. It'll just be me hanging out in the studio doing studio stuff. Let's do a little bit of Jackie Earle Haley trivia while we're just sitting here. The Bad News Bears. Jackie, he was only 14 years old when he played Kelly Leak. And he really did ride that motorcycle. He really did. Here's a cool little bit of trivia. He auditioned for A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original movie, 1984. Just for, shits and giggles, he brought his friend Johnny Depp along. Johnny got the part. Jackie did not. Imagine if he had been in A Nightmare on Elm Street. It would have given him some more credibility and some more longevity in the 80s. Let's see. The TV pilot Young Pioneers, a frontier drama that never got picked up, 1979. I'm going to have to look into that. The Young Pioneers. Because I love to research. Susie this morning had mentioned that she was asking where I found that movie this morning, The Marijuana Man, and I can't tell you. I can't give up my secrets, but that's where I find stuff, and the little gems that I dig up are usually from one place. My mind. There you go. Let's see. Jackie's dad, Bud Haley, was a well-known DJ in LA, which gave Jackie early access to the entertainment world. Bud Haley. Let's see if we can find anything about Bud Haley. Bud Haley, DJ. Now that's back when DJs were just spinning records and selling stuff. Selling records, selling music, and selling commercials. And on Wednesday we'll find out how all that changed. Let's see, it's a little more trivia. In Breaking Away, Jackie wore a hat in nearly every scene, not just for character, but to hide a bad haircut from a previous role. Oh, man. And that would have been what? The Young Pioneers? What was the Young Pioneers after that? Wow. Get your shit straight there, buddy. He was considered for several major roles in the 1980s, but often lost out to more conventionally handsome actors. That outsider status followed him off screen too. That sucks. I was an oddball looking kid. I cutened up a little bit at some point when I was really young. But for most of my childhood, Kelly Leak was my hero. He was a fan of rock and punk music, and his energy in Oh No Not Them was described as like a Ramon in a sitcom form. That's funny. He once said in an interview that he didn't go to prom or have a normal high school experience. I was too busy being someone else on camera. There you go. The life of a child actor. You never know who you are because you're always someone else. They're always telling you who you are, and you never have a chance to figure that out for yourself. Yeah, well, I've started drinking coffee this morning. I have to keep checking my mic and stuff to make sure that I'm here. I have to get back into the swing of things here. So we are, this graphic, this overlay that I'm using, it is a graphic of the, it's a zoomed in image of my screening room in the Elsinore Brothers studio. And if you watch the opening to this show carefully, you can see bits and pieces of this morning show and other morning shows kind of in kind of a hodgepodge thing. And every day the theme music is always Do Wackadoo, but the opening to the show is different every day of the week. The closing is always the same, but the good old opening is going to be different every day of the week. I think we're going to hang around for a little more this morning before we get into actually talking about more of Jackie Earle Haley. And then when we do that, I'll have some images running so that well, it's not so just me sitting here. That was my first run through, kind of a quick run through of Jackie Earle Haley, and now I have my Jackie Earle Haley, The Making of a Kid Actor here. Just a little bit beefed up version of what I read. I don't want to rush this morning because I feel like if I do everything all at once, then I'll be stuck with just me again doing the normal morning thing that we're used to. and I want to stick to movies. I had mentioned during my first reading that I have on 16 millimeter film, 2 rolls. I have The Bad News Bears and Breaking Training. I do believe it is an older TV version, because I believe it has little breaks on occasion where they'll use those breaks to put in commercials. Back when sometimes it was big giant videotapes that they used for movies, but sometimes they would just pull on a 16 mm and kinescope it, which means run a film on a projector here, project it onto a screen, and then point a camera at it. Sometimes they would run it through a processor, which it was a camera aimed at it projected in a little box, which was a lot better than a kinescope. I may kinescope some of my own stuff here, just because that's the cheap, easy way to do it. But like I mentioned, I have it on 16 millimeter reel. I got projectors, just so that I could watch one little 3-minute 16 millimeter film of my father at Wounded Knee in 1973. And I didn't want to use that through a 16 millimeter projector to play it unless I tested the projector first. So I started buying films. I bought a little short, then I found another one, and then I found another one. And then I found Bad News Bears and Breaking Training, and I also found another movie from a matinee that I saw when I was young with my brother. And that was Bugsy Malone and Breaking Training together on one showing in a theater in Hemet, California. And that was great. That was one of my most favorite adventures, going to the theater, because it was a theater, a small theater, a little hole-in-the-wall theater with, there were probably 10 seats across, one way to get up, and it was just kind of an up staircase type, with not many seats, probably, a dozen rows this way and maybe 10 rows this way. And it was all kids watching 2 kids movies, and it was a fucking blast. It was pardon my language, it was a blast. So I would really love to sit and watch those 2 reels with like-minded individuals, somebody who wants to hang out and do that, and take that little time trip. My whole life is a time trip at this point, now that I'm older. And what's really weird, everything's weird. What am I talking about? So, and the reason that I started doing this, decided to start season 5 like this and change things up, is I had done some other shows on my channel. I had kind of dabbled in this and that and the other, and I was doing a radio show called Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia, where I just played old jazz music and talked and just kind of hung out and did commercials, and that was fun, and I loved doing that. And I was doing it 5 nights a week, and I got to be too much, so I bumped it down to Friday nights at 5, which was my father's old time slot when he was a DJ. So I did. He did. What did he do? He did a nostalgia show. Nonsense. He did Nonsense and Nostalgia. A kind of a big band show. And so that's why I called mine Nonsense and Nostalgia. Carry it on. And during that show, I started, because it was an audio show on video, I decided to start introducing a little segment called the Video Time Machine, and it was just a little 30-minute segment with Video Time Machine stuff. And I really enjoyed putting those together. And when I stopped doing the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, I went into Video Time Machine full bore and did 2 seasons of that show, which are in the can. And then when I decided to do my new format here, I decided to bring everything that I've learned over the last 2 years and all the shows that I've done and segments and ideas and kind of pull it together here. Good morning, Robert. How are you, brother? Hey. That's my brother. My actual brother is sending comments up from the box office. So we're in the studio screening room here this morning. So I guess the messages would be coming from the front gate, and I guess I should. Yeah, that's Robert. He's my brother. Go ahead and let him in. There you go. I had to call the front gate. All right, people. So this morning, in fact, my brother was there at that matinee. My father was going to an actual job interview as a DJ in Indio, California. So he'd left us in Hemet at the theater for a matinee. And then he drove an hour and a half out to Indio, did his job interview, and then came back and got us. And I remember he had that job for a while. In fact, we lived in Parker, Arizona while he had the job in Indio. And, well, those were good times, Robert. And he would go back and forth. And then my mother was living in Hollywood, so we were like spread out over 2 states and several counties. It was hilarious. What's up, dude? So we've been talking about Jackie Earle Haley this morning. Kelly Leak from the Bad News Bears. Moocher from Breaking Away. And what's that? Dave? Was that Dave from Losing It? 1983. 3 great movies from Jackie Earle Haley. I'm a bit befuddled this morning because my brother is actually here. It's kind of hard for him to view this because he lives up in the mountains, up there in the sticks, up there in Oregon. So it's hard for him to get a good signal, which is kind of a surprise. So there you go. I'm here. I'm weird. Get used to it. This is Monday Movie Memories on Season 5 of The Morning Show. Earlier this morning, we watched an actual movie during the pre-show, and every morning starting at 4:30 we're going to do a pre-show movie, and we will be showing various films and educational films and animated shorts from the 1970s and 80s. So I have picked out an array of entertainment for us all to enjoy throughout the next year and this next season of the morning show. It's for me, it's awe-inspiring. It's been such a long road to get here to where I can do my commercial breaks and actually bring you stuff about the stuff we're talking about, right? We're going to talk about stuff. Let's do it. Let's bring it full on. And I never could really do that before. I could never get a hold of how to work all of this technology that is around me. Not this technology. This is nothing. That's my wheelhouse there. I'm an analog man in a digital world. And totally, my cup says I'm a ray of fucking sunshine. I am. All right, so in the next hour, we're going to go deeper into Jackie Earle Haley and his career throughout the 1970s and 80s. And we're just kind of taking a break. And this will kind of happen every morning throughout except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays is going to be in fact, Tuesdays is going to be a pretty, I've got news stuff from the 1970s and 80s that we're going to get into on Tuesdays. And that show is going to move. That show is going to be pretty quick. I've probably got about 2 or 3 stories to read every 15-minute section. And then we got to go to commercials. And I've got like a million commercial breaks set up. I've spent a lot of time doing what I call SIDs, station identifications, right? And ins and outs. So an in and an out. Let me see if I can go to a. Oh, I don't have any ins and outs this morning. The ins and out that we see on Mondays are movie trailers and theater and drive-in stuff. That's pretty much what we see. Occasionally we're going to see stuff on TV on the movie Monday because we saw a lot of movies on TV. Late night movies, made for TV movies. I love the ABC Thursday night movie. That was always one of my favorite nights because it was an oddball night. There was always weird stuff on, but you could always find a good Thursday night movie. You know, Smash Up on I-5, you know. Just great old crappy movies. I kind of an old crappy movie guy. Totally. I miss being here. I was gone for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. What movie is that from? Huh? Get ready for a surprise. All right. Yeah, we're going to do movie trivia. We're going to talk about weird movies that people are like, where the hell is that fucking movie from? Like this morning's pre-show movie, Marijuana Man. I've got a whole bunch of gems like that stashed away, ready to bring out. For the last 2 years, doing my YouTube channel, I have done nothing but just scour the internet for material. Loads and loads and loads of material. Yeah. Tons and tons. Oh, I've got this thing here. I want to move this over there. So like I said before, this is a different take on the morning show. Normally we would sit here all morning long and do just this. This damn world's pissing me off. I would put up my morning crazy guy rant, old guy rant, right? Graphic. We will be doing a morning report, but it will be done on the TV Tuesday. Because we're going to be on TV and we're going to be doing a TV show and we're going to be reporting the news and we'll be bringing you the news. And at first I've got it set up so that we'll go to a widescreen on the TV and I'll bring up some graphics and there'll be some graphics hanging here next to me while I talk about stuff. Hey, like, you know, Kermit the Frog. And then we'll have some news stories. And we're going to do news. We're going to do world news, local, national news. We'll do weather. We'll do world events, you know, like earthquakes and whatnot. TV show releases, movie releases, obituaries, you name it. If it had happened in the 70s and 80s, we're going to try to bring it in, and talk about it in detail. On Tuesdays. Tuesdays, an actual news program where we're gonna sit here at a news desk and we're gonna bring in the news and we're gonna talk about it. And I'll have the images here. At some point, I'm gonna start bringing the images down onto the screen, and then have images behind me while I'm talking, and then the whole screen taken up while I'm talking. It's going to be neat to kind of be able to go back and forth and switch things up and do things different than we've been doing for the last 2 years, 4 seasons of just kind of getting on and rambling. The good part about that is that when I turn the cameras on and the microphone goes hot, I can start talking. And it took me like a whole season to get to that point, like 30 some episodes, just to get to where I felt comfortable talking. And now you can't fucking shut me up, right? How unfortunate for y'all, right? It's just about time we are going to go to a commercial break. And I think what we're going to do is go to a commercial break and then come back, and I will read a segment, and then we will talk, and then we'll read a segment and then talk, and then have a couple of more breaks in the next hour, and just kind of try to squeeze that in there. So let's see. Don't go away. I will be right back. And what I'm going to do is I am going to switch out me for a break. And we're just going to stay right here. Okay? So don't go away. I'll be right back. Really? I'm right here.
When America introduced them to baseball, the Japanese adopted it as a way of life. But that was before the Bad News Bears go to Japan. Now, the most successful kids in movie history leave America and set out to conquer the world.
It's all right, guys. Take off your shirt.
Can we take them to our room?
Now, how do I know? Do I look Japanese?
What do I do about the tennis shoes in my bag?
Put them in your purse.
What? Marvin, if I take off my shoes, I'm gonna get athlete's foot.
Well, that'll be the only part of you that is an athlete.
And before they're finished, the greatest little team in the world will think it just went through World War III.
Go get him, gang!
They demolish the great American pastime at home.
Whip it in there, baby!
Now watch what happens when they strike out in the land of the rising sun.
Gracias.
And now they've started a worldwide epidemic of hilarity as they take on a new culture,
It's very weird and unsanitary.
get involved in high finance,
2.5% of profits?
Yes, 2.5%. Everybody gets 2.5% of
Well, it
profit.
should be 5.
What? 5? What are you talking about? John Wayne don't get 5.
learn the facts of life,
You have to get naked.
Well, not completely, no.
That's good, because now my babies ain't getting naked no how. I ain't no fool.
You're certainly not.
fall in love, and tackle Japan's national hero.
Now, take it easy. Now, easy.
Tony Curtis takes charge of America's wildest export
I'll get him, Marvin.
Do that, will you?
when the Bad News Bears go to Japan.
You're gonna get it now,
All right, I'm back. That was that was my faux pas there. I was busy. I was busy there, buddy. Put that aside. Like I said, it's gonna be a different kind of show this this season. We'll have a lot of that dark screen. I turned my stuff off over here so I can watch my live monitor here, and every once in a while I ain't watching either of them. I don't know what's going on, man. So anyway, we're back. What about that preview, that trailer? I mean, aside from Kelly Leak, Jackie Earle Haley, looking a bit older in this. How about the pitcher, Rudy Stein? My gosh, he looked like he should be playing in the majors or the minors or something. He was sideburns. I mean, he was bigger than Tony Curtis. Rudy Stein. They kept him in there. Boy, he was out for a paycheck. Yeah, I can look young. So they should have had him shave those fucking sideburns. And shot him on his knees around the other kids or something, because he was looking too old for that. All right, let's get into let's go deep into Jackie Earle Haley here and talk a little bit about one of my heroes, Jackie Earle Haley. And let's go ahead and we'll switch to this screen here, and I can throw up some let's not do that. Let's go to this screen. And why are my slides in the wrong place? I don't know why. Well, let me sit here and let me just go ahead and move my slides here. There we go. All right, Jackie Earle Haley. Jackie Earle Haley's story in the 1970s begins long before the Bad News Bears. Born July 14th, 1961 in Northridge, California, Jackie grew up in a household where entertainment wasn't just encouraged, it was the family business. His father, Haven Earl Bud Haley, was a radio personality and occasional actor, and young Jackie absorbed the rhythms of performance almost by osmosis. By the time most kids were learning to tie their shoes, Jackie was already stepping into recording booths and onto sets. His first professional job came at age 5 when he voiced Dennis the Menace in a series of animated commercials. That early exposure to the industry gave him confidence and comfort in front of the cameras. That would define he gave him a comfort and confidence in front of the cameras that would define his entire childhood. Throughout the early 1970s, he popped up in guest roles on television, Shazam, The Waltons, Marcus Welby, MD, and one of my favorite roles, Planet of the Apes. Oh, that was one of my favorites. He was great in that. He was brilliant in that. Let's see. Even in these small parts, he stood out. A wiry, sharp-eyed kid with a natural intensity that directors loved. Directors just loved that kind of. Of course, Hollywood didn't love him forever, unfortunately. His first major film appearance came in 1972's The Outside Man, an offbeat crime thriller starring Jean-Louis Trintignant and Anne Margaret. Jackie played Eric, a lonely boy who tries to impress the mob assassin holding him and his mother hostage. It was a strange adult film for a child actor to be a part of, but Jackie handled it with a seriousness beyond his years. That became a pattern. He wasn't the cute, precocious sitcom kid. He was the kid who played troubled, rebellious, or emotionally complicated characters. A bit of trivia from that movie, 1972's The Outside Man. Jean-Louis Trintignant, if that's how I'm saying it right, his character actually slaps Jackie's character And during the takes, they did 2 takes where he got slapped, and he got slapped hard. He got slapped for real. And Jackie just sucked it up and did it, because that was his fucking job. You're gonna get slapped? Well, it's the acting job. He's not slapping you. His character slapping this character, right? By 1975, he appeared in John Schlesinger's The Day of the Locust. What a bizarre movie. A dark, surreal look at Hollywood's underbelly. Jackie played Ador Loomis, a child performer whose mother pushes him towards stardom. It was a small role, but it placed him in the orbit of major directors and actors. And it showcased his abilities to play characters with an edge, kids who weren't always likable, but who were always interesting. And in that movie, this kid right here, he actually put on a dress and a wig and became did a gender bender deal there. This set the stage for the role that would define his youth, Kelly Leak. By the mid-70s, Jackie had built up a reputation as a kid who could handle real acting, not just mugging in for the cameras. And you see a lot of glycerin tears in a lot of kids, and you didn't get that from him. There's a few actors out there today, kid actors, who just really, the kid who plays Dustin on Stranger Things, that guy can turn it on, man. He had the look. Jackie had the look, the attitude, the emotional range. Made him perfect for the kind of gritty, grounded storytelling that was emerging in America's cinema. In 1975, cinema had really, really changed. And when Paramount began casting for a Little League comedy that wasn't really for kids, Jackie was exactly what they needed. And that is, well, that's the first portion there. And I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, because reading that stuff can get to you. So, yeah, Jackie Earle Haley. What a kid. What a kid. And let's drop that out there for now. What would really be neat is if I had some kind of cohort here who would want to do, if I had somebody who wanted to play Let's Pretend with me in the studio every day, I would probably have them doing the mixer here and the live computer, and let them roll the commercials and put up the graphics and mic and all that stuff. And that would be great, because that would leave me to do, well, more. But not really understanding, when putting all of this together over the last couple of weeks, not really understanding exactly how it's going to play out and time-wise what I'm going to need. I just figured, you know what, this week I'm going to play it by ear. I'll know that when I get done today, I'll make some notes in my on my daily schedule for this particular show, and I will make notes on, you know, time frames and what else I'm going to need. I'm going to need some more special graphics. I'm going to need a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'll make notes of it at the end of the show, and then I'll put together next week's show at the end of this show, which will help me out. I did a lot of work over the last couple of weeks, a lot of research, a lot of binding stuff together and creating elements that I can reuse every week, and just change a little bit here and there, and just add the new elements for the week. If this is my topic, then I just add that into what I already have created. So I'm trying to make it so that this show daily and weekly doesn't take up any more time than the morning to take care of. So I get up at 4 in the morning. The pre-show starts at 4:30, and I continue doing my morning stuff until 5, and then I do my show until 7. And then at 7, I'll continue drinking coffee, have a cereal bar, and work at the computer putting together the show for next week. Actually, this week I have to order a new printer. My daughter and I were going to do it last night, but I just plain forgot. This printer I just killed it. It's old. It doesn't want to handle anything anymore. It spits out little strips of stuff and then shoots the paper out and then prints out another inch of and then prints it out. And no matter what I do, I can't get it to not do that. One page at a time, and it prints a little and shoots it out. So one of the things, because I do stuff old school, and this is supposed to be an old style presentation, I need to read my copy, my monologues, my dialogue. I need to read it off of paper. I just do. It has that tie to the past thing. So I am going to get a new printer and a subscription to ink and buy a box of paper. And there you go. And that is going to take me through the season. I have yet to set up my other cameras. I am going to try to put together... Hey. Let's see. My brother posted a photo. Now I'm curious. So I have to get into my little boxes to the world here and see belch exactly what pops up there, baby. Belch. Pardon me again. I've just got that thing going on here. It's kind of a burp. Oh, I see. That's old stuff. Okay. Well, I hope he's still around this morning because, an audience always helps with when you're doing a show. I guess, I'd probably be doing this anyway, with or without an audience, because I just love to sit here and talk. And nobody will listen to me anyway, so. All right. Let's read a little bit more, and then we'll think about going to another break, because I have 2 more breaks set up, so we'll need to squeeze them in, probably at 20 after and 20 till. What do we got? Are these my last 3 pages here? Yeah, I got last 3 pages. All right. Well, we were going to pick up with the Bad News Bears and instant stardom. When the Bad News Bears began casting in 1975, director Michael Ritchie wanted authenticity. He didn't want polished Disney Channel style kids. He wanted real kids. Kids who swore, kids who smoked behind the dugout, kids who looked like they'd actually ride a dirt bike across a baseball field. Jackie Earle Haley walked into the audition and instantly became Kelly Leak, the leather-jacketed, motorcycle-riding, chain-smoking rebel who could hit a baseball farther than anyone in the league. Released in 1976, the Bad News Bears became a cultural phenomenon. It wasn't just a sports movie. It was a snapshot into 1970s America, with all its imperfections, frustrations, and rough edges. Jackie's Kelly Leak was the breakout character. He barely spoke, but he didn't need to. His presence, the long hair, the slouch, the quiet confidence, made him the coolest kid in America. For generations of young viewers, Kelly Leak was the kid they wanted to be. I was nothing like Kelly Leak, but I wanted to be that kid. Or he was the kid that their parents warned them about. Jackie reprised the role in 2 sequels: The Bad News Bears Breaking Training in 1977, and the Bad News Bears Go to Japan, in a trailer we just saw. The sequels were as critically acclaimed as the original, but Jackie remained the emotional anchor. His character gave more complex, still rebellious, still tough, but increasingly vulnerable. He wasn't just a stereotype. He was a kid trying to find his place in the world. A world that didn't always know what to do with him. During this period, Jackie became one of the most recognizable young actors in Hollywood. He appeared on talk shows, magazine covers, and promotional tours, but unlike many child stars, he did not lean into the fame. He wasn't a Hollywood party kid. He was shy, introspective, and more interested in the craft than the spotlight. He was an actor. By the late 1970s, Jackie was ready to prove he could do more than just play the cool kid on a motorcycle. And that opportunity came in one of the most beloved films of the decade. All right. So Jackie Earle Haley, he was a rowdy. He was a rowdy dude, man. In 77, he had a small part in a movie called Damnation Alley. Good to hear you, brother. He had a small part in a movie called Damnation Alley with George Peppard and Jan Michael Vincent and I can't remember that guy's name. I don't think it was Bernie. It wasn't Bernie Casey. So it was just a fantastic apocalyptic end of the world movie, and it's iconic for those what you call it, let me see if I can find them here. There it is. That one right there. That vehicle. I think I have a dog who's trying to get out here. We're going to have to I'm probably going to have to go let this dog out. So let me go let this dog out, and I will be right back. Don't go away. I'm here. I'm here. I am here. In fact, let me see if I can turn on a graphic here. I'm going to turn on a graphic and see if I can find me a graphic or something. Oh, that ain't it. That's not it, baby. That's not it. I gotta go rescue a dog. I know. This'll work. Yes, there's a good graphic. Calmate. Okay. And let me switch to this graphic and turn off my mic for a second. And I will be right back, people. Okay? I just have to let a dog out. Okay, don't go away. All right, I'm back. He cheated. He did not. It was a false alarm. There was no dog. Of course, he'll scratch again here now that I've sat back down. But now I know what to do. Good morning. Cheers. All right, so we're going to go to break in a few minutes. But before then, let me tell you about some more of my own Bad News Bears experiences while growing up. In 1977, I believe it was, just before we moved to Fallbrook, we were living in Lake Elsinore, California. And my brother was on a Little League baseball team called the Brokers. And while I don't have any pictures of me in a baseball uniform, I was actually on a team called the Bears. And it was hilarious because the uniforms were exactly the same color. They looked exactly the same as the Bears uniforms in the movie. And because I had seen the movie, I felt inclined to act like the kids in the movie. And so I did. When they put me in the outfield, I actually laid down. And when the ball was hit, I would just put my glove up, laying down on my side. And I would just put my glove up. Because they never hit it to me. And I just got tired of it. And I didn't know how to play. And nobody taught me how to play. They just put me on the team because my brother wanted to play baseball. And he was good and all that. And I sucked. But it was kind of like that back then. Well, if he's doing it, you're doing it. If he's doing it, you're doing it. He went into Scouts, I went into Scouts. I didn't really want to. He went into baseball, so I went into baseball. I didn't really want to. But that's just the way it was. So I was a mixture of all of the kids on the movie, The Bad News Bears. That was me on the team. And it didn't last long. I don't even think I played a game. I went to a couple of practices, and that was it. You want to keep doing? Nah, and then this ain't me. This ain't me. And it was probably one of those things where Mom and Dad just needed a place to put the kids for a few hours here and there to do stuff, you know. Which I can dig that. I can understand that. But, oh, geez, leave me at the library or something. How great would it have been if instead of all of those places that we were left while growing up, if we had been dropped to the library instead? Eventually, I would have started reading a lot. You know, you're surrounded by books. What are you going to do? Stack them up and knock them over like dominoes? I mean, you're going to read eventually. So there's my own Bad News Bears experience. I was a Bad News Bear. I was bad news on that team, the Bears. It was, it was bad news, baby. All right, let's go to a commercial break, and while we do that, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in this commercial break, and then hopefully I can get something done this time that I was trying to do last time. All right, well, if you're still there, Robert, hold on a second through this other movie trailer, probably one of the movie trailers of a film he did after Bad News Bears. I don't know, could be anything. I don't remember. I didn't write this day down in my log yet, so we're just gonna have to see what I have planned. But let's go to a commercial break, and I will be back after this.
Isn't it romantic?
In the 1930s, Hollywood was a place where dreams came true.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in Radio Land.
Where nothing was common or ordinary. And anyone could have riches and fame. And so they came, from the Midwest and the South, from the Bible Belt and the Ivy League, from vaudeville stages and carnival midways, beckoned by a promise of sunshine and stardom, beauty, and romance. It was the most exciting, most wonderful, most glamorous place on earth.
93, take 5.
Hollywood.
All right, and shut.
Jeepers creepers.
Karen Black is Fay Greener. She wanted more than stardom. She wanted to live her dreams.
I'm in pictures. Only extra work now, but I haven't had a real chance yet.
William Atherton is Todd Hackett. He loved Fay enough to believe in her fantasy.
I like you a lot.
I love you.
Don't make me hurt you. You're very kind and clever. But I could only let a really rich man love me. I could only love someone criminally handsome.
Donald Sutherland is Homer Simpson, who would do anything to make her dreams come true.
I'm going to be a big star someday. It's the only thing in the world I want.
It's good to know what you want.
You always wonder what the point was of Homer Simpson. He's not Rockefeller.
Gable, he's not.
He respects me. And he doesn't want anything.
Forgive me for such unworthy thoughts, but sometimes I wish I could tear it all down.
The Day of the Locust, an unforgettable vision of love, success, and dreams. In the 1930s, they came to Hollywood in search of a dream. From the writer, producer, and director of Midnight Cowboy, this is the Day of the Locust.
What a crazy movie. No, really, what a crazy flick. I'm telling you. I've never seen it, but by looking at the trailer, I'm kind of scared of it. Really. It's good to have coffee. Coffee good. Coffee good. Well, Jackie wasn't in that trailer, but then he, at this point in his career, he was still pretty young, and he hadn't done Bad News Bears. That was 1975, The Day of the Locust. So he wasn't really. John Atherton is in that movie as one of the guys who's trying to impress her. And of course, Donald Sutherland as Homer Simpson. He is the first Homer Simpson. Donald Sutherland. He plays a pretty gooberish guy. You know, is very affable, but he's a nothing guy. Homer Simpson. Not the Homer Simpson from TV, but the original. So I dare say you can use the name Homer Simpson because it wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the second time. There you go. I really am happy to be here again this morning. I've been kind of floundering over the last couple of weeks. Been busy as hell putting all of this together and rounding up material. I think next week we're going to do Brooke Shields. And I've already started using some Brooke Shields commercials this week on some of the TV stuff. So we're gonna kind of warm up. We've been using some Jackie Earle Haley promos Tuesday and Thursday, and we're gonna start using some Brooke Shields commercials. Remember, she did Calvin Klein commercials. And we're going to get into her acting career because she started real young as well. In fact, her mother put her in a movie when she was just a little girl where, well, she was half naked and paraded her around and actually sold her virginity, right? The movie Baby, I think it's Babe or Baby. So I'll be researching that and going through that whole thing after the show today and dig up what I can about Brooke Shields, because she's going to be next week. And we'll do more young actors from back in the day, because that's pretty much, you know, those teenage and early 20-year-old actors is where we're going to be going for our actors and actresses. Tatum O'Neal, she's going to be another good one to go after. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the year 1979. Jackie Earle Haley delivered one of the best performances of his early career in Peter Yates' Breaking Away. The film followed four working-class friends in Bloomington, Indiana, the Cutters, as they navigated the uncertain space between adolescence and adulthood. Jackie played Moocher, the smallest and the youngest of the group, a kid who tries to act tough but is deeply insecure about his future. Unlike Kelly Leak, Moocher wasn't a rebel or a loner. He was vulnerable, earnest, and quietly heartbreaking. Jackie was only 17 during filming, the only actual teenager among the cast. He was the only one that was anywhere near the age of graduating high school. He was the only actual teenager among the cast. Let's see, I think, what's his face? Dennis Quaid. He was, 23, right? One of the other guys in there was 21. They were all in their early 20s. I mean, it was ridiculous. His scenes with Barbara Barry and Paul Dooley, who played the parents of his friend Dave, were especially powerful. Moocher's struggles with work and marriage and identity reflected in his anxieties of the entire generation of young Americans. He was also kind of going through this in his own life with the trying to figure out who the hell am I, and I think at this point he had just gotten married or was just about to get married. Breaking Away became a critical darling, earning 5 Oscar nominations, winning 1 for Best Original Screenplay, and it found a place on countless best films lists of the 1970s. Jackie's performance helped prove he wasn't just a child actor, he was a real actor. He reprised the role of Moocher in the short-lived 1980 TV series. I think it's about 13 episodes, and of Breaking Away. And the show didn't last long, but it kept Jackie visible as he transitioned into adulthood. And throughout the early 1980s, Jackie continued working steadily, losing it in 1983 with Tom Cruise, Damnation Alley in 1977, of course, and guest roles on Murder, She Wrote, MacGyver, and other staples. I have seen the guest shot on MacGyver, and he plays a hopped up, drugged up terrorist gang guy, and his eyes and his intensity is just so raw. I have not seen him in some of his later stuff through the 90s, but he was, in everything that he did, he was pure Jackie. Nowadays he's just rocking it. He's just doing all kinds of stuff. But Hollywood was changing. The gritty realism of the 1970s was giving way to blockbuster era, and Jackie's niche as the intense, troubled kid didn't translate easily into the new landscape. He wasn't Brat Pack type. He would have made a great Brat Pack member, because he would have been the real one of the bunch. Everybody else were lookers. I mean, even Anthony Michael Hall had that nerd appeal, and he was a little geeky, but he still was a looker and became a looker later on. And Jackie Earle Haley never became a looker. He was always an oddball guy, a weird guy like me, and that's what I always and still love about him. Let's see. Yeah, he wasn't Brat Pack type. He was he wasn't matinee idol material. He was something else entirely. He and the industry didn't quite know what to do with him. Right? Nobody knew. Not even Jackie knew what to do with himself. Right? Not even Jackie. Wow. Yeah, there are some things that he did that in the late 80s that I have no clue why. Let's see. Let's do a Jackie Earle Haley. Oh, pardon me. I just totally screwed that up. I gotta do this. There we go. Let's do a TV slideshow of Jackie stuff there. And we'll kind of let that, because we were just talking about his stuff on Murder, She Wrote and other TV stuff that he did. A lot of weird TV stuff. Sorry about the whole graphic oops there. Craig on Planet of the Apes, one of my favorite roles. He was so Jackie in that. That one, and his role in Damnation Alley. It's like he's the same kid growing up a little bit, right? He's almost the same character in Planet of the Apes and Damnation Alley, because he's living in this kind of a post-apocalyptic world, and he's an abandoned kid, and he's on his own, struggling to survive, which is kind of where he was always at, right? Yeah. I'm going to have to dig up some of his other stuff. Last night my intention was to sit and watch one of his movies, but I didn't want to sit here and watch, or I could have just used my DVD player or stuff that I have on file. And so I sat in the living room and tried to find something of his that I didn't have to buy or rent. And I wound up just giving up. Although I've seen most of the 70s stuff, 70s and 80s stuff that we've discussed, I was kind of hoping to get into something last night and kind of set the mood for today. Planet of the Apes is one of my favorite roles that he did. It really is. It's just, I watch that episode over and over and over again. He's honest in that. He's just so real. Let's get through the last part of Jackie Earle Haley here, and then we'll just kind of wrap the show up in the last half hour here. That's my brother saying that he lost me. His service up there is not all that great. I guess it's time for him to take a shower anyway, right? Get ready for work. Yeah, this is my work. Unless I'm going to clean a house. Well, love you too, brother. Take care. I'll have to get back to that message later. All right, I better answer this or it's going to ding again. There you go. All right, by the mid-1980s, Jackie Earle Haley found himself in a difficult position. He had been a major child star, a respected young actor, and a recognizable face. But Hollywood has never been kind to actors transitioning from adolescence to adulthood. The roles dried up. The industry shifted toward glossy teen comedies and action blockbusters, and Jackie's gritty, naturalistic style did not fit the mold. He continued working, but the projects were smaller: TV spots, low-budget films, occasional stage work. He even shot a pilot for an American remake of a British comedy called The Young Ones, titled Oh No, Not Them. But it never went to series. It was too weird. He was too weird. It was just, the whole thing was just, they took it too far. The Young Ones is a great show about a bunch of punk rockers living together in England, right? Really cool. Cool. I know I've seen parts of that. So by the late 1980s, Jackie made a decision that would define the next chapter of his life. He stepped away from acting. He moved to San Antonio, Texas. He reinvented himself behind the camera. He became a successful commercial director, running his own production company. He worked as a limo driver, a furniture refinisher, and a security guard. Whatever it took to support his family, he didn't chase fame. He didn't cling to the past. He simply lived his life. What makes this period so compelling is that Jackie never considered himself washed up. He didn't see his career as a failure. He saw it as a chapter, one that had closed, but one he was grateful for. And he had no idea, decades later, he would return to Hollywood in one of the greatest comeback stories in modern film history. Yes, he came back with gusto. For the 1970s and 80s, Jackie Earle Haley's story is one of the earliest brilliance, early brilliance, iconic roles, and a quiet, defined exit from the spotlight. It's the story of a kid who grew up on camera, delivered unforgettable performances, and walked away before the industry could chew him up. And I guess had he tried to stay around and pull it off, it might have chewed him up. It might have chewed him up and eaten him completely. And that would have been unfortunate. That would have been really unfortunate to see that happen. And with the end of this, we're going to go ahead and punch some holes in it because it is going to wind up in the book of research. I'm not just going to take it and throw it away. It is actually going to go into my binder and stay with me. And all of these episodes that I do, like the past, are going to go into binders behind me. And it'll go to somebody when I'm done with this. When I'm done with me, this will all probably go to my daughter, and she'll be like, "What the hell do I want with this crap? A bunch of crap." Totally, man. Is there a break playing? Was there a break playing? I don't want a slideshow playing either anymore. Alright. Was there someone there? Did you hear other sounds playing while I was doing this? I hope not. All right, I've got one more break lined up for this morning. And we might as well do it now because we won't have time to do it later because we'll have to end the show at some point. And I get to use my new clothes that I created for the week. And that's going to be fun. All right, we're going to... good night. We're going to be back after this break. And we are going to kind of put a close on today's show. And talk about the rest of the week a little bit more. And the new format and what's coming up next week. All right? So let's see. I will be back momentarily. So enjoy this movie trailer.
Multiple warhead strike confirmed. Retaliatory strike on advisement.
Hostile missiles heading to major U.S. population targets. Launch retaliatory missiles. All enemy targets.
You have seen great adventures. Now you're about to live one. Damnation Alley. Everything man remembers is gone. Everything he has achieved is forgotten. Every place he has lived has become a wasteland, desolate, barren. And these 5 survivors may be the only humans left alive. Together, they will attempt a journey into the unknown. Their courage and the instinct to live could carry them safely through the hell that lies ahead. The devastation of man and the mutations of nature gone wild. And somehow, they must endure this journey through the nightmare of what we once knew as Earth. Somehow they must survive this journey through Damnation Alley. Starring Jan Michael Vincent, George Peppard, Dominique Sander, Paul Winfield, Jackie Earle Haley. Produced in the magic of Sound 360. More than a motion picture, an adventure you'll never forget.
It's super cool. Ultra hot. Short and fat.
I'm not fat.
Sweet.
Get lost, front.
And sensational.
You're looking at the world's most dangerous man alive.
It's the Zoo Gang. They're fighting for rock and roll and romance. The Zoo Gang, rated PG-13.
All right, he doesn't even make it into the trailer of that the Zoo Gang movie. He just plays a thug. He plays a similar thug that he plays throughout a couple of TV roles in the 80s. And then he reprises that same thug type guy, I'm a tough guy, throughout the 90s. And they're not great roles, but Jackie puts cinematic perfection into everything that he does, whether he's on TV or in the movies. And jumping into the present, right now you can find Jackie on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and stuff, and he is all over the place. Every time I see a post from him, he's somewhere else working on a new project, right? He's got, several projects coming out every year now, and that's great. I would love to see Jackie Earle Haley come out to Joshua Tree and spend the weekend out here, just hanging out, he and his wife. That would be neat. That would be neat. I'm sure he would enjoy the music scene and the art scene out here, as well as the nature. He's a real nature guy, and he loves to do the tourist thing when he's out and about. He'll be doing a shoot, do something, and then after that, his next posts are of him traveling. And I think he worked on some stuff, and then, if I'm not mistaken, he actually took a cruise back from where he had been working, and took a cruise all the way back. And I think he's just recently got home, or will recently be home from another adventure. So that's pretty cool. Us old guys get to stick together, and he's been knocking it out of the park lately. He's got a lot of great roles that he's been doing. I for the life of me, I can't recall anything, but he's been really busy lately. Ever since he did that, what is it, The Little Children? He did a role that got him nominated, got him a Golden Globe, got him nominated for an Oscar. And then all of a sudden he's the new Freddy Krueger, and he's in a RoboCop reboot, and he just keeps popping up, and everything that he does, he's just nailing it, and he's really doing the old guy stuff great, because he doesn't look, he looks better as an old guy, as far as glamour. He looks better as an old guy than he did when he was young. When he was young, he was a funny little scrawny, pot-faced, weird-looking kid, and I know what that's like. I was a weird-looking kid myself. But now, he totally kind of is a different looking guy. And he does a lot of jobs where he wears makeup. I remember when he popped up, just out of the blue, he popped up in the Star Trek movie Insurrection, and he played a Romulan. And he had a full face get-up on. And he was really good in that. And I think that started him on the road to doing a lot of roles wearing face makeup. Because he could just get into it and nobody would know, hey, that's that kid. That's that kid. That kid, he's an old guy now. And I think that gave him, a little more credibility again. Where you could just jump in and sit for 6 hours, 7, 8 hours in a chair just to do a couple of minutes on screen. That's great. And he's, like I said, he's really, really busy now. You look up his credits in IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and he is just all over the place. And that's awesome. So like I said, next week we are going to get into Brooke Shields of the 1970s and 80s, one of my favorite actresses of that era. And much like Jackie Earle Haley, she was off to a great start in the 70s, and then kind of petered out in the 80s. And she had a huge rebirth back into Hollywood. But for a while there, she just kind of faded off. She had it all. You can see by the commercials and the interviews and stuff that we'll do that she had it all. So, yeah, we are going to get into Brooke Shields next week, and we are going to go just get as much as we can about her. Brooke Shields, amazing child / adult actress from the 70s and 80s. And it's neat how, you know, with the kind of reemergence of the whole vintage retro thing, that everybody's into the 80s, the 70s and 80s again, you know, and that doesn't just help my show, but it helps these actors and actresses out there. People want to see them again. Stranger Things, they keep digging up these actors and actresses from the past, like, oh my God, it's that guy. And that is so cool. That is so totally cool. Yeah, so we need more of that. We need more of dipping back into the past. It helps us look at the present. It helps us to plan the future. You know, we can't hide from the past, even if it sucks. Even if the past is fucking horrible, we still need to pay attention to it because we can learn something from it, so we don't make the same stupid mistakes, right? Yeah. We really need to pay attention to the past. So that's my whole show, my whole idea, my whole goal, my whole charter is to bring the past to you, little bites that you can absorb, and then you can get into it and do some more research, right? This is just the jumping off point. This is just, I'm just the time machine, right? But you gotta get in it, and you gotta experience it for yourself. So take what you've learned today, expand upon it. I am going to see if I need to do a reboot here and see if I've been missing any. And no, I haven't missed any chats. That's good. Take what you've learned today and expand on it. Find out more about Jackie Earle Haley. See what he's doing now. Follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Check him out on YouTube. He's all over the place. He's always doing stuff. He's always posting videos. He's always in a project doing something. And he loves to share what he's doing. So enjoy it. I don't love to. Let's see what Robert's doing now. He's sending an image. Looks like Robert's ready for work. Yeah. Well, I am ready for something. I guess I'm ready to continue working here this morning. Like I said, every day after the show, I do my post-production, which is pretty much just wrapping up everything that I've done today, going through my notes, but most especially pre-production for next week's Monday episode. So when we get done here, I will do all of my research on Brooke Shields. I will get it all into the computer file so I can print it out next week when I hopefully get a printer. And get all of my video files lined up so that I have everything set for things like this to pop up. Okay. And then my commercial breaks, or in this case, movie trailers and intermission break type things. So, yeah, it'll get better. It'll get more fluid. It'll get more robust as we move further into the season. But I'm pretty excited to be here. I'm excited about episode 1 of season 5. This is awesome sauce here. awesomeness to the max. It's totally bitchin' that I'm actually able to do what I enjoy doing the way that I want to do it. So yeah, tomorrow tune in for Totally Television Tuesday. Tomorrow we are going to do Tuesday is a traditional morning news broadcast where we'll come on, we'll have a little bit of friendly banter and conversation, but we'll mostly do news stories from the past. Some hard-hitting stuff, some light fluff, but real stories about things that happened back in the 1970s and 80s. Like that. And I think I've picked out like 18 topics to discuss. I've got a shitload of commercial breaks for Tuesday. Yeah. I've got my pre-show, my opener, my show, and I've got 6 commercial breaks set up and the close. So Tuesday's in the can. Tuesday is ready to go, baby. So it's just a matter of me being here and you being here, and we are going to have fun with it. That's what I want to do. The whole first 4 seasons were what I refer to as organic. It just kind of happened and flowed, and it kind of grew as it needed to, as I was able to grow with it. And now indeed, we're kind of past. It's still organic because each day is going to kind of flow into the next, and we're going to kind of keep it open and free, but we're going to have things scheduled and things planned. It'll take a lot of work to pull this off every week, so I'm no longer doing the video time machine. Rather, I'm doing a daily time machine. And every day during the week, we take a different route back to the past. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do season 5 of the morning show starting today. This is it. This is the beginning. I will probably try to do other shows. As I get used to this, I will try to introduce other shows that I want to develop to fill out my week, so that I'll have a Saturday morning show and a Sunday morning show. And then if I can, past that, start creating 5 little video shorts a week, whether they're 1 a day or 5 at a time, and then I edit them together and then boot them up live. I want to bring more live shows to the channel, so that when we get done by the end of this year, we will have no less than 365 live shows. That's my goal, eventually, ultimately. It's going to take a little while to get there, and I don't want to push it. I don't want to push it, but we're going to get there. So next week on Monday, we're going to do Brooke Shields. Tomorrow on Totally Television Tuesday, we are going to do morning news from the 1970s and 80s. Now Wednesday, it's a totally different show entirely. We are going to do a radio broadcast. Wednesdays will be an actual live radio broadcast from a radio booth with commercials and music and topics of discussion, and we are going to discuss BMR, B. Mitchell Reed, the most fabulous DJ from the 1970s, most famously heard on KMET freeform radio back in the 1970s. So we're going to do that. On Thursday, we are going to do famous products and product recalls and consumer advocate stuff from the 1970s, 80s. And our first topic is Simon, the electronic game. And then, of course, Friday, Flashback Friday, we're just going to talk about everything that transpired during the week on the shows and how it kind of helped me become who I am and shaped my life. So we're going to do that. And that is how we are going to continue with season 5, and hopefully we can get in no less than whatever we're going to be able to get out of this season as far as 5 days a week. We've got 50 weeks left. 5 times 50 is, what's that, 250 episodes, right? So if we can get 250 episodes at least out of the morning shows, and then try to get no less than 80 shows out of the like 40 weeks, 40 weekends, right? That will be remaining about the time that I get to where I can start doing Saturday and Sunday morning shows. And those shows are going to be similar in nature to what we're doing during the week. And we'll get more into that tomorrow. But for now, I am Michael. You can call me Michael. This is the Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy channel. This is The Morning Show, a Mondre Media production. And I will be back tomorrow morning with Totally Television Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me today, Susie and my brother Robert, and I hope to see you guys again soon. And until then, peace. Be kind to each other. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Do something nice for yourself, but do something nice for somebody else too. Why? Because it's nice, it's good, makes you feel good, makes the other person feel good, makes the world a better place, makes you a better person. All right? Take care of each other. Do the right thing. Most especially, stay weird. If you're not weird, nobody else is going to be weird. You got to do it for you. Do it for yourself. Do it for the world. Be weird. Being weird today is just being nice. That's a weird thing nowadays. All right? Okay, people, take care. I love you so much. I will see you tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining me, and peace and love. Adios. Like that. Peace and love. Take care, people. Love you. Adios. Bye.
The Atlantic.